Hey everyone, it's Megan with the Crafty Planner Lover here, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we are going to be going through some letters that we received from the flower letters. This subscription is something that I have received for free to share with you guys and show you how a letter in the mail can turn into an adventure. So if you missed my first video on that, we went through the very first letter that we received, which was about Lily Clara. So this is the Lily Clara collection. And just to summarize, she is, this letter is set up in the Western United States during the year of 1884. It is set in Frisco, Utah's Horn Silver Mine, and Lily Clara, in the previous video, she answered an ad that was in the mail for a matrimonial request, and she moved from New York to Frisco, Utah. So that was basically all that we learned in the first letter, and now we're going to go ahead and go into the next three. So I'm going to be doing these in 3 different parts to make sure that we don't have an individual letter every single time. So I'm going to be doing this in 3 parts. So each letter, you're going to see 3 different parts of the story. So let's go ahead and begin with letter number 2. All right, so when you get a letter, you want to read it exactly how you receive it. So this is the next item. I'm moving this little case out of the way so we can actually have plenty of room to look at everything. I'm actually just going to move it off camera. So this is what we received first. So it says Pinkerton's National Detective Agency. So Pinkerton is somebody that we've been introduced with our first letter that explains what is about the Lily Clara collection. He is a detective agent and his name is Matthew Hickman. So it says, Pinkerton's for hire. You have a strike on your hands, is an outlaw menacing your community. Are you or your family in need of protection? And it's basically just saying, come over and you can answer the ad. Okay, so then we have this letter. Says, Pinkerton's Detective Agency, we never sleep. And this letter looks like, oh my goodness, it's a very long letter. Looks like it is from Bill Pinkerton. Okay, so basically this letter is one that is sent to Matthew Hickman, and he is being written to because by the Pinkerton Agency because he owes a debt to the Pinkerton family, I guess. And this person said that he has been contacted by a family friend or close friend or something. And there was a scandal that happened in Chicago. 3 sisters, they are called the Star Sisters. They fought with somebody in the family and they took them in, and apparently one of the sisters poisoned the family that the staff that took them in, and stole something from the agency or from the people that took them in. And they're basically being written to ask to please take up the case. So that's what we learned about this. It's a very hard explanation, but there's 4 pages of notes. And I was like, that's interesting. So, okay. Then we have this one. And I believe this is the reward for the, yes, okay. It says Pinkerton Detective Agency, reward for the capture alive of sisters Belladonna, Jessamine, and Azalea Starr, better known as the Bright Sisters. These are the sisters that stole from the family that was taking them in and poisoned the family and killed them. So they're wanted for murder by poison and thievery. So they stole something super important and they are headed to the salt mine. And then this is basically an advertisement in a newspaper. So that is really interesting. This is getting very spicy very fast. Attention, read last. Okay. Okay, so this is his telegraph writing. This is Matthew Hickman's telegraph writing to Bill, who wrote to Matthew Hickman saying, hey, you should take up this case. You owe debt to my father. And if you take up this case, then you will get paid for, debt will be owed. And he's basically saying, I'll be there in 3 days. Apparently, silver or horn silver mine is Jay Cook's $1 million miracle. Very interesting. Okay, so that is the telegraph. And then we have this little thing. So this looks like the safe that was in the house that took the Star Sisters in. And it says it's inaccessible to thieves and convenient to the user. The locks may be closed and the key withdrawn within. Okay, so this looks like it is like an advertisement for the safe. And it's saying like it's impenetrable to thievery. So that's what we find out in letter number 2. So let's go into letter number 3 and see what is happening with Matthew Hickman. All right, you guys, are we interested in what's happening so far? Because I kind of am. I think it's pretty cool. This is letter number 3. Oh, I think I flipped it the wrong way. Okay. This is an advertisement for a home physician that helps with coughs, colds, croup, and consumption. Very interesting. So that's nice to know. Maybe it was something that was called in for the people that the Star Sisters killed. Oh, okay. So Lily Clara is like a seamstress. So maybe this is her pattern. Yes, the Lily embroidery pattern. Try out Lily Clara's embroidery pattern for yourself. Okay, so this is basically a advertisement for her stitches. So this is like what the stitch looks like. Very pretty, honestly. Okay, what does the back say? Oh, goodness, it's very big. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Lily Clara's wedding clothes. Okay, so this must be like an advertisement that they sent out about Lily Clara's clothes. It's talking about what the wedding outfit looks like. It's very, very pretty. And this is the embroidery that we just saw on the other side. Ooh, very cool. Okay. So we've got that. I'm trying to keep these in order because you're supposed to read them in order. All right. I don't remember who Katie is. This is from Lily Clara. All right. So let's read this and I will explain it to you. Okay, so that must be what this advertisement is for. So Lily Clara is asking Katie how she's doing because apparently she is sick. And Dr. Frisbee is the like home physician. So that's why we get this. Okay, so the reason why we got this is because she included this design in her letter to Katie. So this is what she's been doing while she's on the private cabin on her way to New York. So she hasn't even reached New York yet. She was basically hoping for an adventure. I'm not even halfway through the letter yet, but she's hoping for an adventure. And she said, everything has been far too tranquil for the likes of me, especially since I've been hoping for my own tiny adventure to enjoy before arriving in Frisco and becoming a wife. So she has found herself on an adventure. Okay, so apparently she was getting kidnapped by a strange large man, and this girl knows how to fight. She knows how to throw a punch, apparently. Matthew Hickman found her. Matthew Hickman is the one we just read about in the previous letter. He's the person who answered the Pinkerton agency request. He saved her from getting kidnapped, and the people who are trying to kidnap her work for an Irish mob boss by the name of Mike McDonald. Very interesting. And I forgot to mention that somebody shoved a small box at her saying to tell his boss he was sorry and he tried to make it back to Frisco. And this was, his boss is Gambit. So apparently there's a small box that she has now that belongs to Gambit. She lost her escort through the shuffle, and now Mr. Hickman is going to be her escort. The small box actually had a wedding ring in it, and she made me laugh. It said, "Darling, I don't mean to mind one bit telling you it's the most ugliest, most gaudiest abomination I've ever set my eyes on. And you know I've seen my share of repulsive wedding rings at Madame Lovelace's establishment," which is where she worked before she accepted the wedding invitation. She said, I know he's doing everything in his power to make me happy, but Katie, if I was wearing that horrid wedding ring as essential to his happiness, I'm afraid we might start our life together with an argument. Sheer practical reasons alone, I will not be wearing it. How on earth could I handle silk and taffeta and chiffon without shredding them to bits on such a conjugal atrocity? Oh my goodness. And something that's really interesting is there's highlighted words on the page, like in this color. So you can go to the Flower Letters website and go to the Learn tab so you can find out what all of these like highlighted letters mean. So Mike McDonald and Skyser and like fancier older words are something that you get to learn about if you want to know more about like the letter itself. Okay, so that is the letter, and then the last thing in here is a postcard, which is really pretty. So basically this letter is about her writing to Katie, and I believe Katie is her sister. I'll have to go back and check. Apparently it is this is her letter on her adventures to the salt mine. Okay, so that is letter 3. Now we're going to get into our final letter for this video, and hopefully we'll find out what happens with the Star Sisters, and maybe we'll finally, you know, meet Mr. Gambit. All right, so here is letter number 4. Like I said, this is the last letter in this video. So we have a advertisement for watches, clocks, jewelry, and silverware. And this is a jeweler in Iowa. Interesting. Okay, guess we'll find out what that means next. Looks like we have another newspaper. Okay, Crisco Town Crier. So this must be like a newspaper. Oh, it definitely is. All right, let me read what this is. Oh, goodness. Okay, so apparently somebody was, this victim named Oliver Snipe had been playing a very deep game of cooking the books, and he's known to the mining community as a stalwart. And Mr. Gambit actually was the one who shared evidence of that. And he, you know, was found guilty by the jury, and the sheriff was sent for, but he, I'm just going to read exactly what this says. Before the sheriff could arrive, the rowdier citizens of the fine community indicted a mob, and breaking Snipe from the safety of the town jail this afternoon, proceeded to serve him justice from the back of a horse with the help of a rope. And then this is an indication. So he died. So that's terrifying, but okay. So that's what we've just found out. Okay, and then we have all the different advertisements for looks like cocaine for the hair, bug destroyer, a sale for a pistol. Oh, the advertisement for the home person is right here. An eyeglass specialist. We have a couple more advertisements for some clothing. So here and here. Another eye ointment one. Paintings. Lots of different advertisements in this one. And then we have some death notices. Oliver Snipe lynching. James McGuire street duel. Mac Applegate street duel. Phineas Judd, excessive opium consumption. So that's probably why we have the opium advertisement right here. And then Lyle Cudd Crippen street duel. So these guys must have gotten into the street duel together. Okay, so this is an advertisement welcoming Lily Clara and Pinkerton. And apparently there's rumors going around that she appears to be Gambit's bride, never to be. Very interesting. And Pinkerton, like we mentioned before, is on the trail of, Hickman, Matthew Hickman, Pinkerton agent, is on the trail of the Bright Star Sisters, and apparently they gave him the slip. So everybody is wondering if he's actually a good agent. Okay, and the reason there's advertisements for all the alcohol is because apparently there's a drunk man walking around. So that's interesting. Okay, so this is like the newspaper It's basically like if you've watched Bridgerton, it's Lady Whistledown. All right, so now we have this, which is a thick stack. Oh my gosh, it's a big stack of a letter. I think it's definitely from Lily Clara because this looks like her kind of stationery. So let's find out what this is about. Okay, so already, this is definitely from Lily Clara. Already she's writing to Katie saying, contrary to what I had planned upon my arrival in this waterless, heathenistic wilderness, I am not a married woman, nor do I have any notion of becoming so. Okay. Apparently, she found herself in a very big adventure. She told Mr. Hickman that she was going to be engaged to be married. He congratulated her and he left abruptly. She went after him and found herself staring down the barrel of a pistol from a masked bandit. Okay, I think this masked bandit is one of the Star Sisters because, after she had told the masked bandit that she would not get down on the floor, the bandit just stood there staring at her. Then they fled after they saw the Pinkerton badge from Hickman. Once she found out he was a Pinkerton agent, they didn't have an easy, friendly manner, and she is very, very distraught at the town because she says it's nothing but dust and wind and wide open space out here. They do have glorious sunsets, and it's spring, so there's a little bit of beauty. I'll give them that, but it's hardly a tree in sight. The wind is always blowing. There isn't any water for drinking or bathing either. The water that is here must be frightened in from the neighboring town of Mitford, which is 15 miles to the east. You must purchase the water by the bucket. She is not very happy. Oh, okay, so apparently in order to quench their thirst, they quench them at saloons. She said, there is every sort of gambling hall, brothel, and opium den a person in pursuit of debauchery could wish for. The entire town is rampant with the vilest and deadly sins full on display to offend every living creature innocently walking down the boardwalk. Well, she doesn't sugarcoat anything. Oh, it's a certifiable pit of lawless barbarism. Okay. Okay, so, she was met immediately by a lynching, and so Mr. Hickman escorted her to her new home, which is Gambit's house, and she said it was immaculate, all done up in wine velvets and brocade carnelian satins, everything dripped with gold fringe. Between you and me, it was as gaudy and opulent as Sylvester's wedding ring. She said that he wasn't home, and she said that she decided to try on her wedding dress, and she thought it was very pretty, and she said, my wedding finery was grand indeed. So I was incorrect about my assumption of the scar, or the masked bandit. Apparently the masked bandit is Mr. Gambit, because she had said when she had been facing the masked bandit that there was a scar, a moon-shaped scar on the person's wrist, and there's a moon-shaped scar on this person's wrist too. This is getting spicy. Not like Bridgerton spicy, but spicy. She insisted that if she wasn't going to marry him, that Clara would have to pay back every cent he paid to get her out. And she threw the ring at him and left. So then she found herself to an unsavory part of town. There were a bunch of drunk people around, and she was still in her wedding outfit. And apparently some of the women started pawing at her with their hands. Oh my gosh, I think she just met the Star Sisters. She escaped from the drunk women, and she said 3 women stepped out of a nearby saloon. They didn't look like the sort I'd just come from. I asked them for help. Thankfully, they took pity on me and led me inside. Oh my gosh, she just told them her whole story of the Mr. Gambit situation. She was called a yellow-bellied swine because he was one of the most wealthiest men in the Horn Silver Mine. He was a Horn Silver Mine owner. She doesn't understand why he stole and robbed trains, basically. Oh, okay. After exchanging a knowing smile when she told them he was a Pinkerton, the 3 women assured me they knew him very well and a fine specimen of manliness they'd never beheld. Oh dear. Mr. Gambit robs trains, so she is no longer married to him. and she found Mr. Hickerman. The last thing is this postcard, by the way. She found Mr. Hickerman, and at the hotel, the three odd ladies exchanged a knowing smile, led them right to Mr. Pinkerton, and left. I really think that those three women are the Star Sisters, and I would not have trusted them if I were her, but she did not know about that. So that is letter number 4. And that is the end of our flower letters situation. All right, everyone, that is it for this installment, this episode of the flower letters, the Lily Clara flower letters. If you are interested in continuing in this story, don't forget to follow me on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and go ahead and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I post the flower letters 5, 6, and 7. And y'all, this is becoming a very interesting little series. I am very excited about this. I cannot wait to share with you more. If you do like this series, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you've ever done any of the flower letter subscriptions. If you've done this collection, let's chit chat about it because I'm very interested to know what you guys think. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, craft on. Bye, guys.